here, this is what I've been working on here. My hydrogen fuel cell. As you can see, it's coming out very nice. There's two chambers here. This will be the coil to prevent water from getting into the cell. What we have here, this lifts right out of here. So we have the plates for the cells that will be attracting hydrogen and oxygen atoms using electricity, which will be driven through here. And this is polycarbonate bulletproof engineering plastic, and everything here is stainless steel to prevent any type of corrosion, and we have nylon washers to keep these plates separated as they must not touch to prevent shortage. And this will be the cell chamber, which will allow the gases to drive out of here through the coil into the bubbler chamber, which I have a water break here down through the pipe. And what this is going to allow me to do is turn water, drinking water, into gases, hydrogen and oxygen, which are extremely flammable, which I will be using to therefore power my car as a hybrid. A little bit more explaining on the actual design and mechanics and processes of this fuel cell here. As you can see, this stainless steel is actually perforated. As you can see right through those holes. They're all perfectly aligned using acetate plastic there, which does not allow any water absorption, which will help allow water to flow through these cells very easily, as I'm going to have a pump driving water through here, cycling through fresh water to make the hydrogen and oxygen gases. As you can see here, this middle chamber is where I'm going to have a lot of the pump and other things that will be needed to drive and make this thing work. And this was very tedious to make here. As you can see, these are not touching, and there's still much to be done. As what happens here, as the electricity from the alternator in the car and from the battery will go through here. Okay, you can see that those are attached to these bolts, which are alternating. See, that middle one does not even touch the second one. They're all alternating, positive and negative. And the water atoms in the water will attract to the opposite charge, which will separate the H2O mixture there into separate atoms of 2 parts hydrogen and 1 part oxygen. And those gases will rise from the water and will all be trapped into this here, which is my outlet, which will be driven through a coil, and that coil is made to prevent any water from getting mixed into the gases. And then that coil will go over here to the bubbler. It's the bubbler intake, and this goes all the way down. This will be filled with water, and what that does is the gases will come through and go through the water, bubbling up, and this prevents any blowback or firing of the gases, because this is very highly explosive. This could technically be a bomb if not properly made. It can have very bad unwanted effects. So as you can see here, gases will come up through the water through this outlet valve, which will then be let through what I am going to make is a way to regulate, almost like a carburetor flip valve, that will allow me to regulate the gases that are going into the car along with the other gases, because it will be mixed again with gasoline. It is a hybrid. It is not alone going to be powered by the hydrogen and oxygen gases. And from this valve here through the throttle controller, as we'll call it, will go to the blowback valve, which prevents also any type of explosions that will happen as the engine might backfire. And again, you have to be very, very careful with this type of gases, as they are very explosive. And from the valve will go straight into the manifold, and I have a truck that is fuel injected, so we're going to see how that works out, just going straight into the manifold on the top there. As far as how that's going to work, again, this is still going to be a lot of testing and a lot of developing here, but it is definitely coming through. I've already run through some tests here on this cell. It is work. So there will be much more updates here as this comes along. And by the way, this is just the size of a battery, which will allow me to add this into my car, right into the battery bin, which will be very efficient and easily installed in almost any car. So hopefully to get this prototype running and efficient enough to maybe create a easy installable fuel cell for any vehicle. And that is the plan here.
I see my dream. Every day 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 I see my dream.